Salam alaikum. I'm going to Morocco with her again, with almost no money, no film crew, no makeup or friends, except for the one I met. We met. Just two of us visiting some of the most amazing historical palaces and colorful gardens, learning about its proud history, discovering some of the most iconic landmarks, and the most famous filming village in all of Africa, taking a ride at the craziest road on earth, getting high up at the Atlas Mountain, and camel trekking across the Sahara Desert. We'll also go on bargain hunting at the ancient market Medinas, experience the art of making argan oils, first-hand look at the fascinating tanneries, and the world-renowned Moroccan mugs, and my favorite, filling up with traditional cuisines and cheap eats, and getting around the local way. Not to forget, experience the warm hospitality of the Moroccan people, and finally ending our journey by the beautiful coastline facing the Strait of Gibraltar. All done safely, inexpensively, and easily. Anything I can do, anything we can do, you can do. DIY Destinations Morocco, and you are invited. We are so fortunate to live in a small world with so many cultures, so much beauty, and so much diversity. The world waits for no one, and it's up to each of us to discover its magnificent destinations. I want to make travel accessible to all of us by showing how it can be done safely and inexpensively. Located in North Africa, overlooking the Mediterranean Sea to the north and the Atlantic Ocean and Sahara Desert to the west. Officially the Kingdom of Morocco, meaning the place sunset in the west, is a constitutional monarchy with a king. It has a population of 36 million, with a majority being Arab Berber. The country has a long history and a diverse culture, along with a magnificent architectures, colorful music, and spice-infused cuisines. That's why we are here, to truly experience this land, its contrast, its nature, its people, its proud history, and immerse ourselves in its colorful way of life. Economy 14F. Let's start our Morocco journey from Marrakech Menara Airport. There are frequent direct scheduled and charter flights from across Europe, and many more via Casablanca through a 20 minutes flight. This is how I'm going to get there, and I can't wait to land. Welcome to Marrakech. We just landed and stopped. Now it's time to retrieve the luggage and get the heck out. Alright, I'm so ready to get through the customs and passport control. The airport is only 5 kilometers away from the city center. After 9:30 p.m., you have no options except for the taxis. And one of the great ways at night is, hey, share a cab. This is one of the best ways. The bus stops pretty early. So unfortunately, most drivers are dishonest and will overcharge you. So always insist on using a meter. The ride shouldn't cost more than $5 to $8 or 50 to 80 dirhams. This is how I got to the city center, or the old city, the Medina. There's a cheaper alternative. That is how my poor host going to get from the airport the following day. It's pretty frustrating you can't go inside the terminal because for security reasons, so I don't really know where my co-host is. She's not answering her phone. Hopefully she's not in trouble, hopefully. The stop for the shuttle bus number 19 is located right across from the parking and runs between 6 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. The ride takes about 30 minutes to the Medina and costing about 3 dirhams. You are not going anywhere without some cold, hard cash to pay for the fare. The rate at the cash exchange at the arrival area is bad, and I advise you to head to the departure area to get a slightly better rate. Actually, a lot better. Exchange just enough for the ride and a little extra until you get to the city center. Even better idea, just withdraw from the airport ATM. I recommend you stay close to Medina, where it's walking distance to most attractions. I'd like to thank my accommodation sponsor, Riyad Ducanu, for providing us with a very comfortable rooms with a private shower and a delicious breakfast each morning. But my favorite, the beautiful rooftop patio and the friendly staff. Thanks guys. All the attractions mentioned here are less than 10 minutes walk from the Medina. To prevent you from getting lost, I recommend you get a local SIM card for about $2, and each 1 gigabyte of data costs less than $1. It's not bad, 10 dirham. Yeah. With that being said, we'll check out our first attraction, the Stallion's Tomb. So we're going to start our journey right here at Stallion's Tomb. It's a sepulchre that dates back to Stallion's dynasty. Now the tomb itself was discovered in 1917 and was renovated. Now because of its beautiful decorative nature, it became a very popular tourist attraction, as you can see here today. Located on the south side of Casbah Mosque, the mausoleum comprised of the intimates of 60 members of Saudi dynasty, which ruled Morocco from 1549 to 1659. The room contains the grave of those of Ahmad Mansour and his family. Outside the building is a garden and the grave of soldiers and servants. Just 5 minutes walk away is the location of our next attraction, but there is horses at your service, so make sure to always bargain and always check for any sign of the abuse on the horse. But my preference is always to travel by foot, as you get to see the local markets along the way, including many of the herbs, spices, and fragrance that Morocco is famous for. But since we only have 1 day in Marrakesh, let's get back to sightseeing. And in no time, we reach one of the major palaces in the old city, the Al Bali Palace. So this palace is also commissioned by Sultan Ahmed Mansour shortly after his accession. Now the interesting thing about this palace is largely funded by the ransom paid by Portuguese after the Battle of the Three Kings. The palace took about 15 days to build. Okay, I mean 15 years, with the construction finally completed in 1593 and was a lavish display of the best craftsmanship of the Stallion period. The palace was mostly built from the material from Home Depot. Okay, another correction. It's from the most expensive material at the time, including gold, onyx, and colonnade that are said to be constructed from marbles exchanged with the Italian merchant for their equivalent weight in sweet sugar. The original building is thought to have consisted of 360 richly decorated rooms, a courtyard and a central pool, and several large pavilions on the site, which are believed to have been used as the summer houses.
The flowers smell so beautiful, so fragrant. It was just
Sadly, after the fall of Saddam, the palace entered a period of rapid decline. The building was stripped most of its content by the ruler Alawi dynasty Ismail ibn Sharif, with the building material and decorations to be used in the construction of his new palace in the new capital at the Menkes. Before you get palace fatigue, let's get to our last one. It's only 10 minutes by foot, and I promise you, it's going to be very colorful. If you like gardens, you can love Bahia Palace. This was built in the late 19th century with its intent to be the greatest palace of all times. It's 8,000 square feet full of gardens and with a special intent to capture both the Moroccan and Islamic styles. Imagine what you can build with Morocco's top artisan at your service for 14 years, and here you have it. The name means brilliant and designed by Si Musua, a Grand Vizier of the Sultans, for his personal use. This palace will bear the name of one of his 4 wives. And here at the helm, which includes a vast court decorated with central bison and surrounded with rooms intended for the concubines, 24 of them to be exact.
So we just came out of the favorite wife's bedroom, but I wonder who this one belongs to, because this one's even nicer. Maybe this is the favorite girlfriend?
Sometimes I think it's nice to be a guy. I'd like to have, 50 husbands at my service. Maybe one day I will. I'll just have to find a country that allows it.
I love these giant doors like the one behind me. They're so big that they have to have the secondary door just to let people in.
While admiring the Tronco Grand courtyard with its floor laid with white Carrara marbles, remember this. This is where people waited in the sun for hours to beg for the slave-turned vizier Abu Bu's mercy. Well, we will not need to worry about the door being closed on us, since the main street of Marrakesh used by locals and tourists is open late. Although the origin of the name is unclear, Jama means congregation in Arabic, or the assembly of death, referring to the public execution on the plaza around 1050 AD, or the mosque at the end of the world. Let's not get into that.
So we're here at the main square in Marrakesh and things are really picking up. You can hear all the music in the background. There's snake charmers, henna tattoo artists, all sorts of things. Right behind me is where the main action is tonight. That's where everybody comes for dinner. Tourists and locals alike. You can find all types of cuisine, including snails if you're daring to try that, or maybe lamb brains. But it's my favorite place to have dinner here in Marrakesh. I've bargained for everything though except my dinner. Dinner is kind of a fixed price, but if you want to get the carpets or maybe a tagine to take home, I always give them half price and then see if maybe 10% more. But never go for the first offer.
And yes, Sarah is right. Bargaining and bargaining hard for everything is part of the local culture. This is a shopping paradise where you can find absolutely everything from clothing to women's accessories to fresh soaps and fragrances to smell good for the ladies to sweet dates. The
one thing that really upsets me here in the square is that when you're just taking wide pan shots, there might be a monkey or a snake in the shot that you're not intentionally getting because they are all over the place and these owners are really aggressive. They come up to you and are harassing you and they want money, and I purposely don't take part in any of this stuff because I see them hitting the monkeys and all sorts of things like this.
As someone with a degree in anthropology and as a responsible traveler, I cannot endorse any form of animal abuse, especially when primates are chained for the entertainment of tourists. Therefore, I urge all of us not to take any photos with these monkeys, as it is cruel and inhumane. I also like to warn you to be careful of your surroundings, as this square and the market is a pickpocketing capital of Morocco. So, pay attention and don't carry too much money, valuables, and IDs. Be warned. Sadly, Sarah and I didn't eat at the market, given we have other plans. We were invited by one of our friends at the nearby Ria guest house to drop by and chill out at their spectacular rooftop patio for the romantic sunset.
And if you're on a budget, we're in another...
Also to check out their nice rooms, but most importantly, our friends wanted to show us the most famous traditional Moroccan dish, tagine, named after the earthenware pot which is cooked in. The dish dates back to Harun al-Rashid, who's a ruler of the early Muslim conquest. The earliest writing appeared in the famous 1001 Nights. Today, the cooking pot and its traditional broth is primarily prepared in Middle East and North Africa. The Moroccan and Algerian tagine dishes are slow-cooked savory stew, typically made from sliced meat, poultry, or fish together with vegetables or fruit. Often is mixed with spices, nuts, as well as dried fruits. After our last meal here in Marrakesh, I got a call from my mother reminding me to brush my teeth. So on our way home, Sarah got that covered, the natural way.
So I've just learned what this is because I've been curious. Is you break off little pieces of it and you rub it on your teeth. It's a natural toothbrush.
We woke up next morning and our delicious breakfast was waiting for us in our guest house Riyadh Darganoon. But sadly, it's time to say goodbye to our beloved Marrakesh. The generous owner of the guest house walked us over to the nearby landmarks. And this, so we begin our 3 days and 2 night Mazuka Sub-Sahara Desert Tour. This is where we got picked up by our amazing sponsor, Holiday Morocco Tours. They offer affordable private and custom tours for all budgets with great service. So this is the beginning of the desert tour and I'm really excited. With me right now, our guy and our driver. So what is your name?
Youssef.
Youssef. This guy's really cool. He's a cool cat and he's going to be driving us from here, and let's hope we have a smooth and fast ride. Buckle up because this will be a really long drive, but thank goodness we'll be stopping every hour and a half or so for some breathtaking photo break to show off on Instagram. Yay!
We've just begun our desert and Atlas Mountain tour here in Morocco, and we pulled to the side of the road to get a couple photos. And one of the things I've noticed throughout our ride are these hills and mountains covered in cactuses. I'm an avid mountain climber, but I definitely would not want to be climbing up these. So I've walked up this hill of cactuses, and it's like a maze trying to get out. Find a path so you don't get stabbed by all the little needles. We are climbing the mountains and it is getting chilly, so make sure you have lots of warm clothes with you. There's local villages behind us made out of mud.
No, there's nothing wrong with your TV. I heard it too. Round 2, please.
In the background you can hear a donkey. I'm not sure if he's upset or if he's in heat, but it's pretty funny. We stopped here on the roadside to take a look at the beautiful view of the traditional villages made out of mud. And it's much colder up here. As we go up through the mountains, you gotta put on your layers.
Many of the viewpoints have tea, coffee, and refreshments, as well as toilet. But make sure you bring some small spare change because it's not free. Seriously.
When you're off for your high Atlas mountain tours, usually this is the second stop because you've got great views of 2 peaks as well as a lot of greenery in the area. And then you can also do a little bit of shopping. This one looks nice.
You may be able to find a nice looking rock souvenir, but keep in mind to bargain, and bargain hard. Start offering at the quarter of your asking price. As well, be aware of the fake colors. Many of them are just simply painted on them. To see if it's real, simply rub your fingers with some saliva on the color patterns to see if it comes off. Also, you'd be surprised how many lovely towns and villages you pass by along the way. Another opportunity for you to get off your butt to stretch and, of course, do some shopping. It's a great way to support the local economy and its people. Another great way to help out is supporting many type of cooperative you'll be visiting. In our case, our sponsor Holiday Moroccan Tours took us to a women's cooperative making high quality argan oil.
This is for make argan oil cosmetic, not roasted. And this is roasted for make argan oil for eat and for food.
We're here at a women's co-op where they produce argan oil, both for cosmetic purposes as well as eating. This is the raw argan fruit in this shell. With the stone, they break the shell off. The outer shell they use to start fires, and then the inner shell they grind into a paste. This is has been smoked, so this is like a roasted argan nut, and then this is the raw form. They grind it here where they make the nut butter, and then turn it into a paste that you see at the hammam for like the black soap that you put on your body and scrub. Whoa, got it in one shot. You can dip it kind of like you would with olive oil. Dip your bread into it. Smooth, nutty, delicious. They also have, it's like a almond butter and argan oil paste where they mix it with honey, so it's a little bit sweet and nutty. You can use it as a spread, like a peanut butter. So the bees munch on the nectar from the flowers on the argan tree, and then they produce a thick, dark honey. Very rich, sweet, and it has a very distinct flavor.
The Zidian Test is a dramatic route through the Atlas Mountain from Marrakesh to the walled city of Jerusalem, Without stops, the 222 kilometers takes about 5 hours, passing over mini Berber village, Casbah, and fine landscape untouched by the modern world. And this is where you get to see some of the most spectacular scenery in Morocco. So this is our official third stop, and the reason we're stopping here is because it's the highest viewpoint, and you get a nice panoramic view of Atlas Mountain. However, it won't be long before we reach our next destination, one of the most famous fortified villages in the world, and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So this is Apen Hadou. Oh man, this is so bad. Ait. Say that one more time. Ait. Ben Hadou. We are in the height. That must be cool. So I'm at Ait Ben Hadou. Right now I'm in Ait Ben Hadou, and this is a World Heritage Site designated by UNESCO because this site have been being on the set of many famous and blockbuster movies. It's a challenging name for me to pronounce, but it's conveniently located along the former caravan route between Sahara and Marrakesh in the modern-day Morocco. Since the 1960s, this village has been well-known for being a filming location for many of the Hollywood's blockbuster hits, like my travel show. Just joking. Some of the most recent films include Son of God, Prince of Persia, One Night with the King, Babel, King of Heaven, and also used in part for the TV series The Game of Thrones. Inside the wall of the Khazar are half-dozen Casbah, or merchant houses, and other individual dwellings, and this is a great example of Moroccan earth clay architecture. Sometimes it can be dark and short, so watch ahead. Most residents are attracted by the tourist trade living in the modern-day dwellings in the village on the opposite side of the river, although there are poor families that still live in the ancient village. It takes about 15 minutes to reach the top of the hill, where you will be rewarded with an Olympic gold medal. A breathtaking panoramic view of the village and the Atlas Mountain. But be sure to dress warm, since it can be cold and windy up here. And if you're adventurous enough, consider walking back across the river.
I made it. I was a little worried for a minute.
Sarah and I are exhausted, but thank goodness our amazing driver Yusuf on holiday Morocco tours. He never gets tired and ready to roll to our next attraction. But hold on, we need to stock up on some liquor. And Morocco is famous for producing fine wines. Yusuf knows how important it is for us to capture the sunset, so he charged on as fast as he could. The only problem, we are driving on the craziest road on the planet near the Dallas Gorge called the Road of Thousand Casbahs. The Dallas Gorge is a series of rocky walled gorges carved out from the Dallas River. The river originates from high Atlas range of the Atlas Mountain and flows some 350 kilometers southwest before joining the Dura River at the edge of Sahara. This road is not for the faint of heart. Don't be fooled by the spectacular views through the stunning desert landscape. It's really windy with lots of sharp turns, lots and lots of them, and deep drops. The many colored walls of the gorge range anywhere from 650 to 1600 feet, so safety do come first. After all, there is no hospital here.
So we've just driven up this switchback here in the Dallas Valley. It is famous in a lot of car commercials because it is so windy and crazy. I only wish that I had a high-end sports car to test it out.
After seeing the possibility of my life cutting short, everyone decided we are not ready to have that near-death experience. So we decided to move our way down before it gets really dark, in a not so exciting safe speed. But let's have some fun by speeding up in the post-production. It's late, and most tours include one night at a nearby hotel or free dinner. What a great way to welcome us with some nice Moroccan tea.
It's nice to come back to the hotel when it's a chilly night and have hot soup.
Now, depending on which tour company you choose and which package you choose, hotels can vary, and as well as food may or may not be included. But thank goodness, I have chosen an amazing company that put everything into one, and this is amazing food. This is just starter, by the way. With that being said, bon appetit. By the way, now you know why we stock up on booze. Since Morocco is a Muslim country, majority of the establishments do not serve alcohol. What a great way to enjoy the traditional Moroccan music after dinner. By the way, don't forget to tip these hardworking locals. So we are ready for day 2 of our adventure. Getting the car warmed up, leaving this hotel, and we're ready to get going. I'm excited. Are you ready for a new day?
Yeah.
Okay, good. No complaints from you. With a lot of driving ahead, but not before stopping by for another breathtaking view of the town in this valley.
Good morning, it's day 2 of our tour, and we're just leaving the Dadis Valley that you can see in the back here. In the far distance is the Atlas Mountains, and we're on our way to the Tourdes Valley.
Even though there's a lot of driving, you get to see many different beautiful landscapes that Morocco has to offer, including many towns, some of them with traditional Moroccan-style home built into a fortress called Casbah, with a lot of them abandoned.
So throughout Morocco, you find a lot of these abandoned kasbahs. There are a few people still living in them, but they're really old and crumbling, so it's not very safe. But it's beautiful to look at and explore.
The word Casbah means central part of the town or citadel. Traditionally, it's a place for local leaders to live to defend a city when it's under attack. Usually, a Casbah has a high wall without windows. Sometimes they are built on the hilltop so they can be easily defended. Some were placed near the entrance to the harbor. Having a Casbah is a symbol of wealth for some of the families in the city. Many with oases like this one. Remember I mentioned about lots of driving? I really mean it. So put your gadgets away and enjoy the beautiful landscape and sceneries, and you won't believe how fast time flies before you arrive at the Dourda Gorge.
We have arrived at Dourda Gorge. Right now is dry season, so the riverbed is dry. Just on the other side, you'll notice that there is farmland. They grow carrots and mint for the Moroccan mint tea, also known as Berber whiskey.
The Dourda Gorge is a series of limestone river canyons or wadi in the eastern part of High Atlas Mountain near the town of Tinahir.
If you're an avid climber, you must come here. It's the best place for climbing for humans and goats alike. You'll see the goats all over the mountainside.
Both the Talaka and neighboring Dallas River are responsible for carving out these deep cliff-sided canyons. During the dry seasons, the canyon floor is mostly dry. However, during the rainy seasons, the Toga expand massively, covering the canyon floor with strong current. Morocco is also famous for its rugs, especially the unique Berber rug, which has a fascinating history as one of the most celebrated folk art rug styles and has been continually manufactured since the 7th century. The weaving of Berber rock is the responsibility of Berber women, including the keeping and passing down the knowledge that went to making these rugs, including secrets of family patterns, looping techniques, and the color that should be used. All this knowledge will pass down maternally, with each subsequent generation of girls being responsible passing down to the next. The Berber rugs is used within the tribal group as blankets, horse covers, and wide variety of other utilities. All natural processes that result in Moroccan Berber rugs utilize local sheep's wools and local vegetable dyes, making the pieces inherently eco-friendly. So if you're going to buy one, don't forget to bargain, and bargain hard. Sarah was excited and eager to buy one, but has second thought after I told her I wasn't going to carry it for her or be her walking handyman. But maybe the camels will. So let's find out. All tour packages includes a camel ride for trekking from the Mazuka Desert to the camp. But if you are scared of riding one of these cuties, the alternative is a jeep. If you got lots of money to spare, there are these monsters. Once again, thanks to our sponsor Holiday Morocco Tours for arranging both the rides and the accommodation here.
I'm excited to be the first in the caravan. This is gonna be my camel. He's, scratching himself right now. Hi, camel.
And we're about to go on our camel ride. We're gonna take a pause so that we can watch the sunset.
So I'm getting on my camel, and this is a very, very, very big animal. Woo! Alright. Camels have been playing an important role for North Africa for thousands of years. In ancient times, they were critical as mode of transportation, and this tradition continued today in the rural areas of Morocco. The other use for camels are for their meat and their milk. So as you can see, I'm in a caravan with of camels. It's not easy to film and also be on the camel and all with one hand. As you can see, Sarah is right in the front and I'm in the back. I'm a champion when it comes to supporting the local economies. Nonetheless, I urge you to practice responsible tourism by not riding any animal that appears mistreated. Now, one thing I like to emphasize is safety comes first. Just remember, when you're on the camel, you should not do what I'm doing right now, playing with your camera phones, because a camel sometimes can stop all of a sudden. What you can do is ask the guy to stop and take a lovely photo for you.
Or you could make it more adventurous and go, no hands, no hands.
Seriously, always hold on to a camel to avoid an unexpected bumpy fall. So guys, please don't let this happen to you. Finally, after an hour or so, we have arrived to capture the sunset. By the way, my butt is pretty sore, not in the best shape.
and yet somehow I still have room for dessert.
That romance will definitely continue with some traditional Berber entertainment in form of music and tea.
Before hopping into bed, I had a nice long hot shower. There was great water pressure. It's probably the best shower I've had so far in Morocco, and it just happened to be in the desert. This is definitely not camping, it's glamping. We had a very comfortable bed. In the morning, you come back to the dining tent and serve yourself some breakfast. I'm going to start with some Moroccan tea.
Yes, it's included in the price of the accommodation, but let's take a minute to thank our sponsor in a form of a quick infomercial.
We are from Brazil. We stay here 2 weeks. It is so good. Sarah is a great experience. I like so much here.
Today is going to be a long drive again, but we are also going to pass by even more diverse landscape, like the Black Desert just a few kilometers away. Did I mention Morocco is full of oases? I mean lots and lots and lots of them.
We're on our way to Fez and we've just stopped to stretch our legs for a minute. We're at Ziz Valley, which is the second largest valley in Morocco that's full of palm trees. These palm trees are full of dates, which the locals harvest and sell at market. And below the palm trees, they actually grow a lot of things, including vegetables and henna.
Also lakes and dams, lots and lots of them, really stunning. This one's located close to a valley and not surprisingly called Aziz River and flow all the way through to the Sub-Sahara Desert and reach into Algeria. We continue on our journey and it's amazing that almost every corner offers new sceneries. There is so much to take in. Do you remember I mentioned Morocco's landscape is full of contrast? Not far away from the desert, you get to see this part of Atlas Mountain completely covered with snow. But before you know it, it's desert all over again. It wasn't long before we passed by the Big Apple. Seriously, that is a nickname of Moroccan town of Medak. The tourism sector continues to grow and is an important source of revenue for Medak. We certainly do our part by eating at the nearby town of Zida and experiencing some of the traditional Moroccan cuisine, freshly hand-prepared delicious Moroccan-style meatballs called kafla pochettes and commonly consists of lamb meat with seasoning and vegetables served on a skewer. Once again, we are on our way and not surprisingly another change of scenery. This time wet, very wet. Then we pass by our last city at Amuzir before arriving in Fez. We finally arrived at Fez early evening around 5 p.m. and our amazing driver used to drop us off at the Blue Gate.
We have arrived in Fez, and behind me is the famous Blue Gate, also known as Bab Boujalou. This entrance is on the western side of the old Medina and a great place to start your exploration of the city.
Fez was the capital of Morocco until 1912, and its Medina is located within the oldest walls surrounding the old city.
We're strolling through the streets of Fez Al Badi here in the Medina, some of the oldest parts of the walled city. It's UNESCO World Heritage Site and goes on for miles and miles.
Founded as a capital of Isis' dynasty between 789 and 808 AD, it's famous for its little alleyways, the local market souk, and for having the oldest university in the world, as well as its ancient tanneries. The Fez Medina has a multiracial population, as majority is made up of refugees from the surrounding Moorish dynasty, including those originated from Tunisia. Each group established their own district within the Medina. This is where you can pick up a large variety of local souvenirs and handmade craft at a bargain price. And maybe pick up these cuties as well. Just joking.
I come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I definitely need one. I got some verbena tea leaves. I'm excited to go home and drink it. I really miss having this type of tea.
Oh yeah, if your woman is a shopaholic, get ready to spend some time here. I mean, a lot of time here.
I'm glad I didn't buy the first one I saw because now I think I want this one instead. There's so many to choose from. It's hard to decide on just one thing.
But I am as hungry as hell, and since she's doing her never-ending shopping, this is not the time for expensive romantic dates. So I'm going to check out some cheap eats, aka a popular street food. Well, after a whole day of walking, it's time to grab a bite, and seriously, I'm starving. And this is a very popular street food. It's called Basilic sandwich. What it is made from is meat, mostly chicken, beef, or lamb. They spice it and mix with vegetables, and they grill it on the pan for you, and they stuff inside the Moroccan pita or bread. With that being said, let's just eat! Delicious. I recommend you stay within the Medina for accommodation, as it is walking distance to most popular landmarks and attractions in Fez, and it offers large variety of options from budget to luxury. So let's try out both.
We are here in the heart of the Medina in Fez at Munadim Riyadh. It is a family-owned and operated business, and there are many rooms to choose from. You can have a private room with an ensuite shower, or shared accommodation and shared showers for the more budget-friendly experience.
I lost the bet, so I'm going to stay at the budget-friendly guest house, the Munadim Riyadh, but it's still very comfortable. But for those of you who want to go luxury, then Riyadh Arabesque is a great option.
This Riyadh is a little more of a luxury Riyadh, having 18 rooms, a pool, full service bar, and all the other amenities you can imagine.
By the way, my favorite is the crazy breakfast. You're not gonna lose weight here. With that being said, let's check out the many of the attractions within the Medina. There is many interesting quarters within the old city, and one of the most charming and authentic place is the Plaza Safarin.
Each area of the Medina has their own specialty. This area is known for all the metal cookware. They're hammering together. You can hear in the background the pots and pans, and they're for sale for tourists and locals alike.
This small plaza composed mostly of coppersmith stalls. This is where you find high-quality cookware to take home, such as pixie pans for boiling milk for your coffee, copper tagines, teapots, and everything metal-related. You'll also find the ancient library open since the 14th centuries, and the most iconic mosque in Fez, Al-Qurani, founded in the 9th century. But the most important landmark is Shura Tannery. This is also a great time to let you know a common tourist gap, or should I say friendly stranger, as you are continuing your adventure through the narrow alley. Someone might tell you the street is closed. Ignore it and just continue. Some of these scammers could claim to be an official guide paid by the tourist board and are most likely lead you to a maze of small shops. And once you're in, it's difficult to get out without buying anything or insist on a payment. Another reason to get a local SIM card.
We're on our way to the tannery, my favorite place in Fez. Just hoping to get there before the rain starts again. We're gonna be dancing with the rain today, I think. I'm back at the dyeing vats again. I love this place. I could spend all day here, but Sometimes my traveling companions can't take the smell. Let's take a look.
Built in the 11th century, it's the largest of the 3 tanneries in the city and located in the oldest quarter of the Medina. Since the inception of the city, the tanning industry has been continuously operating in the same fashion as it did in the early centuries. Oh yeah, I don't know how Sarah can't stand being with me, but can tolerate the horrible, horrible smell.
And they still use natural techniques is one of the things I love about it. They use natural dyes such as indigo to make the blue color, and they still use cow urine and pigeon poop. The pigeon poop is used to soften the leather, although it does create quite a smell.
The most notable feature of Shiraz and other local tanneries is numerous stone vessels filled with different colored dyes and white liquids. Yes, Sarah is totally right about the smell. Should I say, the skin from cows, sheep, goats, camels are processed by first soaking in series of white liquids and made from various mixtures of, cow urine, pig feces, quicklime, salt, and water in order to clean and soften the tough skin. This process takes 2 to 3 days and prepare the hides to readily absorb the dyes. They are then soaked in dyeing solution, which are natural colorants such as poppy for red, indigo for blue, and henna for orange. After dyeing, they are dried under the sun. The entire leather production process comprises of manual labor only and involves no modern machinery and has retained methods unchanged since the medieval times.
The pigeon poop does create a bit of a smell that tourists are not used to, so if you like, they offer fresh mint you can hold under your nose, but I think after a couple minutes you get used to it and it's part of the experience.
The resulting leather is then sold to other craftsmen who use it to produce Morocco's famed leather goods such as bags, coats, shoes, and slippers, prized for their high quality. Yes, you can definitely buy some of these lovely leather products, but I do not recommend you buy them from shops catered to tourists, as most of these leather products along with carpets, chromatics, and argan oils are generally fake. Often the vendor will swipe the good quality products with a fake, so pay attention. Similarly, currency can also be swapped after you hand them over and the vendors intentionally drop them and swipe a large note for a small one. I recommend you get their shopping done from a local store recommended by your guest house. And yes, bargain and bargain hard.
I think I might have to get it. I'm on the hunt for the perfect poof. These are poofs, by the way. So they're great to take in your suitcase because you load them up at home. And when you load them up, you can use your old clothes like jeans and such. Ooh, here's one. Maybe. It's the right color.
Our next stop is a little bit of a nice walk through Medina again, about 25 minutes on foot, but it will be our one and only palace with a visit here in Fez. Besides being a 19th century palace, it's a really nice place for some peace and tranquility, a break from the buzzing market of Fez.
We're here at Dar Batha. It's just outside the Medina walls here in Fez. It used to be a palace, but now is a museum holding over 6,000 items, including jewelry, pottery, and clothing.
The construction of the place was ordered by Sultan Hussein I as a place for distinguished visitors and guests to stay. The building was converted to a museum in 1912. During 1912 to 16, it housed accommodation for the department belonging to the French Protectorate before the function was moved to Rabat, the new capital of the state. Since then, it was converted into different museums, first as a Museum of National Art, and then as a Museum of Ethnography and Cultural Activities. It houses valuable artifacts taken from decaying or ruined historic buildings in Fez's Medina, such as the madrasas. The weather wasn't kind to us. The rain came on and off, but it doesn't deter us from getting high. I mean, getting a magnificent view of Fez during the sunset. So, let's get ready for this 20 minutes hike. Sometimes, you're just able to make friends naturally. My goodness, this is a They all following me because I'm such a nice looking guy.
One of the best places to get a view of the sunset is up here on the top of the hill overlooking the Medina at the Meridian Tombs. There are ancient ruins from about the 13th century.
Although there is sparse information available on the site and its history, the Marina tomb refers to a ruin or monumental tomb on the hill above and north of Fez, and are believed to be dated from Marinid dynasty between the 13th to the 15th centuries. Today, the ruin has two rectangular base mausoleums with a large horseshoe arch entrance that are still visible. It is not known exactly who was buried in these structures, but given they are monumentally, they are probably members of the royal family. After the grueling hike, we need to fuel up, and since there's no KFC around, as a conservative, I decided to go with the safe option, the chicken and rice. But Sarah is definitely more adventurous. A traditional Moroccan pie is her pick.
I'm so excited to dig into one of my favorite dishes here in Morocco. It's pastilla. Traditionally, it was made with pigeon, but more often now, especially for tourists, it's made with chicken. It's basically a chicken pie with some white confection sugar and cinnamon. So it's like dinner and dessert all in one. It's full of Moroccan spices, and look at how hot and steamy it is.
After packing up, it's time to head to a bus stop and continue on to our next city. We recommend you take the bus operated by CTM, the oldest public transportation provider in Morocco, and also book your reservation at least a day in advance. If you got checked luggage, it's about extra 10 dirhams or $1. With that being said, please enjoy this 5-hour ride to Chefchaouen. Chefchaouen is named for both the chief town and of the province. The Berber city was founded in 1471 with the construction of its wall Casbah and the fortress for the defense against the Portuguese. Today, Chefchaouen is a popular tourist destination and being referred to as Santorini of Africa because of its mountainous surroundings, which are enhanced by the contrast of brightly painted medinas and the unique, distinctive blue rain houses and buildings that cover the city. Morocco is a country of fresh fruit, so I recommend you fuel up with some natural sugars. So we're going to start our day here in Chefchaouen by going to a local restaurant for breakfast, and we do need some energy to hike the waterfall. So what we're going to have is a traditional avocado drink and also a cake, which is only 5, and our pizza is coming on our way, which is only 40.
So, time to try my first pizza here in Morocco. It's so nice and warm, and who says you can't have pizza for breakfast?
Our adventure here starts at the Mohammed V Square, where the Grand Taxi or Share Taxi are congregated.
Now we're gonna start our adventure. We're in Mohammed V Square right now, and we're gonna find a Grand Taxi and go check out the waterfall.
So we are in the shared taxi right now on our way to Akshar Waterfall. You have the option of taking private taxi, is 150 dirham each way, or the shared taxi is 25 per person.
Oh yes, the shared taxi does mean the seats being shared, and often your butt can be on that share list.
Per person each way. It is a little bit chilly.
Now, before you get excited about visiting the waterfall, you need a few things. First, you need to listen to my lovely voice. Okay, just joking. Really, you really need to tell the driver to drop you off at the town of Akkor. And you really need a good hiking shoes. Secondly, the weather is unpredictable, so a small umbrella and most importantly some sugary snacks, since this will be a really long hike. As well, do not attempt to hike after 1 p.m. as it gets dark early. You see what I mean.
Now this is quite an exercise. I think we are about 30 minutes into the hike and we got 30 more minutes to go.
Although the hike is long, taking 2 days, okay, just joking. I mean, 2 hours if you're lucky. You'll get to see some of the spectacular sceneries along the way, plus a good exercise too. But be very careful of the slippery rocks and don't get too close to the edges because there is no hospital here, guys.
Whee! Perfect!
By the way, I cannot guarantee whether or not there will be bridges, but I can guarantee you'll get wet. Really wet. So be warned and don't come here if you can't handle the water and the cold. But thank goodness there's so many stalls along the way selling mint tea, or local call it the Berber whiskey, to help you keep warm. You can even pick some fresh mint to take home. That's exactly what our Moroccan friends is doing. We met them on the trail and I strongly recommend you do the same. After all, having friends for an extra hand, you don't need it.
Day.
Guys, trust me, it's not an easy hike.
When someone has to do this, the waterfall just better be good. I'm very serious. Because look at this right here. I got wet for the wrong reason, but for the right cause.
Remember what I said about we cannot guarantee whether or not the bridge will exist? At least today we got some helping hands by the locals. Very lucky.
We finally made it. Look behind me. There's the waterfall. Totally worth the 2-hour trek through freezing cold water and steep mountains.
I thought this will be the end of it, but no, look at this. Look at this. Well, at least it's pretty easy. This one's not so bad.
We finally found the actual waterfall. It's been about 3 hours, but there it is. It's so huge and beautiful. Let's get closer. It took about 3 hours to trek here, crossing the river back and forth. We're all soaking wet, but so happy that we've arrived. It's a bit chilly, you can see my breath, but look at this magnificent view. Luckily, we had a couple family that we joined, and we all held hands and did it together, teamwork. But we made it to Actual Waterfall, and look at it, it's amazing.
After the perfect selfie, we stop filming and focus all our energy on rushing back before the complete darkness kicks in. Yes, the rain was unforgiving, absolutely unforgiving, and we are freezing our butts off. No, we will not leave without our Moroccan friends. Actually, we really help each other out. Another reason to make friends, even the turtles. After crossing all the bridges, everyone voted for a short break and warm up with some Moroccan mint tea.
And boy, this is such a wet ending to hard work, people, to bring you the footage of this magnificent waterfall.
So it's getting dark. Now we're lost on the mountain. Where we crossed earlier, it's been raining so much that it's way too deep and the rapids are way too fast. We can't cross.
And we got lost in total pitch darkness. But I can always count on the warm hospitality of the Moroccans. One of the strangers guided us to the taxi stand. Yay!
So after a whole day, it's crazy. We were very lucky there was last grand taxi back to Chefchaouen, and everyone survived here. Given the fact that right now it's over 10:30, yeah, this is pretty much the only place that's open at the moment at the main square. The price is a little bit touristy, but that's the only option we have to have a hot meal. So I have is actually vegetable soup, and hers is actually Moroccan soup. And for the main dish, I'm going to have a chicken tagine with lemons, and she's going to have a beef or prune. And also dessert to be decided later. The whole meal costs $50. So shop around, you might get better deal than I do.
Yikes! If you wonder how much is the average non-touristy meal cost, here is your answer.
If you go outside the tourist area, you actually find lots of inexpensive and local food. And this is probably one of them. It's Moroccan chicken skewer served with salad. And this is 30 dirham. And if you were to eat inside the tourist attraction, it's probably going to cost about 40 to 45 or so. Food is not something you can bargain, so make sure you shop around too.
That translates into about $3. But if you're really broke, a full breakfast will only set you back $1. What a deal! Szechuan translates to Blue Pearls and is nicknamed for this blue city located at the edge of the Reef Mountain, creating a dramatic surreal blue landscape. It's truly a photographer's paradise, if the weather is not so unforgiving. So for now, we don't wait for it to clear up, and instead roam its narrow cobble street and the passageways. Often are painted blue. Some believe it was Jews who painted blue as is in their religion's divine color after escaping Europe. They represent the color of the sea and the sky, while other strange theory includes the blue as a mosquito repellent.
The weather doesn't cooperate. I mean, it really absolutely sucks. But I'm going to do my best because I just can't wait any longer. But I'll show you a little interesting little sight first. This is a mini waterfall here in Chefchaouen.
The Ras El Mar waterfall means head of the water. It's located just outside the Medina's easternmost exit of Bab Ansar. Since the 1500s, the bursts of water from the mountain cliff are used as stream for the laundry hut on the site. This is where women do their laundry, a number of built-in concrete washboards and completed with diverted water channels. Once your laundry is done, it's time to get going. A half-hour hike from the Bab Ansar brings you to the main viewpoint at the Spanish Mosque. It was built by the Spanish for the locals in the 1920s, but it never gained favor or used, and simply abandoned and fell into despair until 2010, when it was restored again by the Spanish. From this hilltop, you'll get a grand view of the entire town sprawling over the green hill below, but obviously not today, due to the unforgiving weather. With the bad weather having no end in sight for another couple of days, Sarah and I are tired of getting wet, especially my camera equipment. So we decided to go for our early exit. Luckily, there is a frequent bus going to Tangier, a major city in northwestern Morocco. I'm actually using the camera phone to film this because all my lenses have lens fog. It can only take so much abuse. We are on the bus right now heading towards Tangier, and one thing I can tell you is if you are going to take the bus, make sure you take CTM, because after all, this bus is pretty dirty. I'm not too sure if it's cheaper, but we chosen this bus because it's, the bus for CTMs for 50 bucks is fully full, and there's people sitting on the floor because they ran out of tickets. And another thing is kind of pissed me off is the fact that as we are leaving, finally there is some sunlight, but that's too late. So I hope we have more luck in Tangier. But the bus briefly stopped at one of the cities en route, and we are hopefully can be in the final destination next. The express bus with one stop only takes about 3 hours, while the regular bus with multiple stops takes about 5.5. Tangier's main bus terminal is located approximately only 1 kilometer away from the city center. With that being said, welcome to Tangier. Tangier is a western entrance to the Strait of Gibraltar, where the Mediterranean Sea meets the Atlantic Ocean. Starting from before the 5th century, many civilizations and culture influenced the history of this city. Between the period of being a strategic Berber town and then a Venetian trading center to an independent era around 1950s, Tangier was a nexus for many cultures. In 1923, it was considered as an international status by foreign colonial powers and become a destination for many European and American diplomats, spies, writers, businessmen, and playboys. Just joking. Let's get moving to the city center, and you can do so by taxi.
We just arrived here in Tangier after taking bus from Chefchaouen, and guess what? It's not raining. There's seagulls squawking in the background. Just behind me is the port that will take you to Gibraltar in Spain, and then the old Medina as well. We're so hungry, we're gonna go eat something. It's nearly midnight, so everything we tried to order off the menu is finished for the day. We are having chicken and fries, which you can't go wrong with. Whew, that's hot. So juicy and tender. I've never had chicken and fries in a tagine, but it's delicious.
Tangier is surrounded by water, so they can't screw up the seafood. I wanted to give their fish a try, but sadly at this time of night, the salad with canned tuna is all they got. I'm a man, and this is the end result, but nah, I'm a man, not a boy. I continue on with a nice salad because I'm really hungry. And the great thing is, here's some seafood, tuna. So let's check this out. Tuna salad with macaroni, beets, and different kind of goodies. With that being said, let's eat. I recommend you stay close to Port of Tangier since it is easy walk to the beach, river market, and the transportation. This is where Hotel Dar Omar Khayyam are located. It has a pretty interesting history.
So we're here at Dar Omar Khayyam. Originally built by missionaries, it was used as a house for nuns, a hospital during the First and Second World War, and is now a hotel. Let's go in.
I'm going to let Sarah do the quick infomercial.
When visiting Tangier, I definitely recommend staying at this hotel, not only because of its historical value, but it's got a great location, maybe 5 minutes from the ferry terminal, 10 minutes to Old Town, and restaurants nearby.
With that being done, let's head down to the beach and capture the sunrise.
Good morning from the beach here in Tangier. What a beautiful place to check out the sunrise.
Oh yeah, it's really spectacular. The municipal beach is located at Avenue Mohammed VI. It has a really long stretch and rarely crowded and offers a breathtaking view facing the Strait of Gibraltar. But you need to take the taxi to the northwestern extreme of Africa's mainland to get the absolutely the most spectacular view. The best of all, it is free. However, it's about 14 kilometers away from the beach, and a share or a grand taxi will cost approximately 50 dirhams each way per person. So, get few amigos and share a regular taxi. Thanks for my amazing bargaining skills. I'll tell you how much we pay later. But if you are on a super tight budget and don't mind a long walk, there's bus number 2 leaving daily at 9 a.m., 11 a.m., and 4 p.m. Our first stop is the KL Hercules within the Cape Spartel.
We're here at the Hercules Caves, just outside of Tangier. It cost us 90 dirham to get here, but maybe you can bargain for even less.
Yep, we only paid 90 dirhams round trip. The Cave of Hercules are something of a symbol for Tangier, with a strange sea window, shaped like a map of Africa. It is believed that Phoenicians created the sea opening, which is the shape of Africa when looked at from the sea. The cave itself is part of natural and part man-made. The man-made part was used by Berber people to cut stone wheels from the wall and to make stone mills. Dating back to 2500 BC, ancient references claim that it was the headquarters of Hercules, the legendary man that Romans and Phoenicians talked about. This is where the mythical figure used to rest after finishing his conquest. Next, our driver took us to Cape Spartel. It's about 5 minutes drive. This is where I had to prove my manhood by jumping off the cliff. Actually, no, I'm not suicidal in any way. So let's just enjoy this magnificent view.
So we've just made our way out of the Hercules caves. It is said that Hercules took rest there after he had an exhausting battle against Antaeus. So just up the hill from the caves is Cape Spartel, a great place to take some photos, perhaps have lunch, or buy some souvenirs.
The cape rises to a height of 326 meters, and the nearby sunken island is possibly the location of the legendary island of Atlantis. We returned to Tangier and asked to be dropped off by the terrace, a viewpoint near the Berber market. This is also where you can come if you don't want to go too far for a sweeping view of the port, Spain, and on a really clear day, Gibraltar. The terrace contains outdoor bench seatings for you to chill out, and a set of ancient cannons faces the bay, symbolically warning off foreign enemies. As this is one of the favorite spots with the tourists, it also become a favorite spot with the nice guys. Should I say, nice guy scams. I'm not sure if Sarah's aware of it, but I was. I intentionally just play stupid and go along with it. It works like this. Someone very friendly will approach you and offer unsolicited tips and eager to show you around. In our case, this gentleman is very proud of the local market or souk in the Medina. Since it's just a few minutes walk away, let's go for a walk and enjoy the market with a focus on the scams later. One notice, our new friend is very camera shy. Exploring Tangier Souk is a great way to connect with the local people and to experience firsthand the tradition of Moroccan buying and selling of a wide range of goods. Although the market is open every day, in most souk there's always a special day called the Day of the Souk, being the best time to purchase fresh vegetables, fruits, preserved lemons, olives, spices, jewelries, etc. In Tangier, it falls on Sunday, and the local refer it to as the Berbers Market.
Oh my god, I love it when I'm given a flower by a man.
Even though you can find absolutely everything in this market, most of the non-food items sold are imported, such as that of household items and clothing. However, this souk cultivates many artisans that produce local distinctive textiles. Many of those small businesses are passed down from their families from generation to generation. Now let's get back to our nice guy and how they make money off you. First, they will intentionally take you to overpriced shops and get paid in commissions from your purchase. Even worse, many of us are unaware that we have been sold a fake or low quality products. These shady vendors will not face any consequence, knowing full well that tourists are unlikely to report these scams to authorities due to the language barriers, and you are only here temporarily. With that being said, this friendly, nice guy took us to this shop. And yes, Sarah did end up buying about $40 worth of junk, but at least she bargained. I think she's just being nice. The nice guy also insists we dine at this restaurant, very touristy and pricey. I had to step in since I'm running low in cash. So I'll end our tour by telling you another way our nice guy are making money. Typically, they do not demand a tip right away, but will ask for a big lump sum at the end. This is exactly what he did, and boy, was he mad when I told him I only have $2 left on me. Yeah, it's not our fault you don't accept bitcoins, right? But miraculously, all of a sudden I found some extra cash to pay for our taxi ride to a railway station.
We're just about to leave Tangier and we're on our way to Casablanca. It will be a 5-hour journey, but I'm sure when you visit it'll only be a couple hours because a high-speed train is gonna open up just after Ramadan, which is in a couple months.
Now the difference is between first class and second class is second class they don't have an assigned seat. So you have to be really quick when it's high seat. First come, first serve.
The first class has assigned and bigger seating with 6 in each compartment, but given we only have a little bit of extra cash left, I'll try the second class option. But keep in mind, during the busy travel period, the passenger often occupy the corridor in this class. The second class has 8 seats per compartment, and since this is not a high-speed train, it will take approximately 5 hours to Casablanca. With that being said, please enjoy this beautiful sunset. About like 3 hours into this ride. And please bring some of your own waters because honestly the water here, a small bottle like this is like 8 DM, which is roughly like $1 or so. If you go and buy it elsewhere, it's 2. Casablanca is the largest city in Morocco, as well as one of the largest and the most important cities in Africa, both economically and demographically. Casablanca is Morocco's chief port and one of the largest financial centers on the continent. Its metropolitan area has a population of 6.8 million. That's a lot of friends waiting for us to meet. You will arrive at Casablanca's Central Railway Station Voyageurs Terminal, and there's a frequent train connecting to Casablanca's port terminal, just minutes from Medina. We arrived late, and that's not an option. However, our new friends show us an alternative.
So what's happening right now here, we got an amazing friend who's helping us out. He tried to help us negotiate with the taxi, but because we are a bit of a foreigner, me and Sarah, they are not so lenient when it comes to prices, but so he's going to show us how to work the tramway.
Hey, in Morocco, you always need to have a pocket full of change, not only to go to the bathroom, but to use the tram as well. I'm making my plans for tomorrow.
The ride is short, and you to get off here.
Okay, so we just got off the tram here at the United Nations Square. This United Nations Square divides the old Medina and the newer districts. Just behind me there was just an accident, so something to be aware of is always double check before you cross the street. Just because there's a cross signal does not mean the cars are gonna stop.
This is a short walk to Old Medina, where we recommend you stay, and also where our sponsor accommodations are located. This hybrid hotel hostel occupied the handsome but worn colonial-era building and has lots of helpful staff.
I'm in my hotel room here at Central Hotel in Casablanca. We're inside the Medina, and this hotel is so popular that this is the only room that is free for me to shoot tonight. It has an ensuite bathroom, cable TV, and an amazing view of the city.
It's also walking distance to many of the famous landmarks, so let's get going. Marking the busiest entrance to Old Medina, this 20-meter tall clock tower is one of the most recognizable landmarks in downtown Casablanca. Built in the early 20th century by the Commandant Dessiné, the fragile structure fell into disrepair and was dismantled around 1950. It wasn't until 1994 that clock tower was rebuilt. I also heard a rumor near the main entrance you can try out something very interesting, a local food, the snails, or escargot in French. Sounds so romantic.
Yes, you will come. Yes. There you go. So, I'm finally able to try this. Okay, how do I do it? Okay, I don't know how to eat this, but I tried. But it tastes really good. So when you're here, try it, and you'll be excited as I am. And is this beef?
But that's definitely not enough for dinner. Casablanca is actually a great place to go on a diet. Here's why.
So I just want to let you know, the Casablanca is extremely expensive in terms of when it comes to food. Probably twice as much as in the other cities. That's why we have been like trying to look around for deals. Okay, I don't know what to say except for please bring some more money, extra money please.
So we kept wandering, and since the street food is our only option, especially this late, but I think we found a deal.
I had to downsize because I ran out of money and I had to borrow from my lovely Sarah. And what I'm having is chicken and fries. And if that is the same thing you can get in Fez or Tangier or Chop Chouan, it's actually cost half of the cost. With that being said, I'm very excited to see what the future holds for my little belly. So they wrap this in tempura and cut it in two. What's inside the sandwich is actually chicken skewer with vegetables and also olives. So, let's eat. This is as best as cheap can get. And let's check out the fries. Awesome.
It's late, so we headed back to our hotel. By the way, we love the fact that most hotel rooms at the Central Hotel has a balcony with a really nice view.
So I'm ending my night at my favorite spot in my room is the terrace.
Did I mention they also offer amazing traditional Moroccan breakfast at very reasonable price? Thanks for feeding me, buddy. But Sarah is sleeping in. I'm going to go and check out the last attraction here in Morocco, myself. It's about 10 minutes walk away. The Hassan II Mosque is the largest mosque in Africa and the 5th largest in the world. Its minaret is the world's tallest at 210 meters. The history of the mosque began with the death of King Mohammed V in 1961. The King Hassan II has requested for the best of the country's artisans to come forward and submit plans for a mausoleum to honor the departed king. In other words, a big mosque for the dictator, a self-glorification. We headed back to a hotel to the Medina, and this is where you can pick up some souvenirs at a bargain. Another reminder to bargain, and bargain hard. Oh, by the way, if you need to fuel up for the walk, there's lots of fresh pastries you can try out, including the crispy Moroccan pancake, a breakfast staple. Don't forget, Casablanca is surrounded by Atlantic Ocean. There's no way they can screw up the seafood. Not these ones, the cooked ones.
On the shore of Casablanca, you can get fried fish. One of my favorite things about being in Morocco is as you pass by the little shops, they often give you something to try and eat. A generous shopkeeper just gave me some fresh hot calamari. I've already taken a bite. It's so delicious.
Sarah is staying for an extra day, so I'm gonna head back to the airport the solo style.
The best way to get from the city center or the old city to the airport is by train. In fact, Casablanca station
is only 5 minutes walk from the Medina, and it takes you directly to the airport. And this is the only way you can avoid the crazy Casablanca traffics. Also, ladies and gentlemen, please arrive early to the airport, at least 3 hours before the departure. Casablanca's Mohammed V Airport is ranked the worst in the world. But one thing I did not expect is having such a long lineup. And this is just the entrance of the airport, and I can't imagine how long it will be inside. However, on the bright side, if you're flying on any of the Air Morocco small planes, such as the Embar jets, I got some good news for you. Now with Loyal Air Morocco, their practice has always been, in case none of the business class seats are sold, economy class passengers are allowed to choose a seat in the business section based on first come first serve. So that's why I'm sitting at 4A, even though this is a business class section. And this marks the end of my magnificent journey of Morocco. Morocco has always been a geographically important country, serving as a gate between Europe and Africa, and is credited for maintaining the safety and stability of the Strait of Gibraltar. But what's important for Sarah and I is a dream of ours to experience this country, not just a destination. A childhood dream to able to camel trek through its Sub-Saharan desert, to see it, to feel it, and to breathe it. To experience its contrast, its natural beauty, to be welcomed into many of its palaces and touch the history, to walk through many of its ancient markets and experience the sights and sounds as they existed throughout the century. We are able to witness its culture in action through the taste and smell of its food and colorful tanneries. Most importantly, to experience the warm hospitality of its people and to see the advancement of this proud society through the progression of women's status. Morocco, the place sunset in the west, is truly a magnificent destination worth experiencing. Its proud history, its bright future, its people, and most importantly, its soul and spirit will forever remain in your heart.